Hi students, welcome to your first collaborative learning activity retro for your Lean Six Sigma methodology course. So the purpose of this activity is to clarify the main points of what it is asked from you in the activity and also to describe point by point what are you expected to do in each of the parts of the activity. So the general objective comprises two parts. You have to do an individual part and a group part that you have to do with your teams. So in the individual part, you are asked to reflect upon some of the most important concepts about value streams, lean manufacturing tools, and some of the most important characteristics of a process like efficiency and flexibility. Uh, this this information that is asked from you, this can be used to analyze a process, right? For example, if you identify the value streams, you will know in which processes you're most likely to concentrate if you want to improve the process and its efficiency, right? Um, you're also asked to reflect upon some of the lean manufacturing tools. So remember that lean manufacturing is more concerned about efficiency and the elimination of waste in a process rather than the control of the process. Remember that control and variation is managed by the Six Sigma part, and lean manufacturing focuses on value creation, elimination of waste, and efficiency of the process, right? And also, you are asked to describe some of the important characteristics of a process, right? Because if you want to be efficient, sometimes efficiency makes flexibility hard, and the other way around too. If you want to be flexible in your process, most of the times you will do it at the cost of sacrificing a little bit of efficiency, right? So lean manufacturing proposes ways in which you can become both flexible and efficient at the same time. So it is very important for you to get to know the basics of lean manufacturing, for you to be able how to comprehend how flexibility and efficiency can be achieved together and can work together, right? And also, you are asked to detect areas where you can improve the process, areas of development, right? As a team part, you are asked to apply in a real life scenario the following tools. The real life scenario refers to the coffee shop, the Starbucks, that you are asked to observe. So at first, you're asked about doing a value stream system, which identifies the main process where value is being created in the company. Well, not the main process. It can be more than one. The main process or the main processes, right? Usually, this is something more than just the production process, because we have a sales process, we have a marketing process, we have a research and development process. So all of these things are included in the value stream system. And also, it is very important to point out that this is not a value stream map. A value stream map is a closely related tool, and we will talk about this with a little bit more of detail in another slide in this same video. The second tool that you're asked to do as a team is the IDEF. And remember that the IDEF is a tool that is used to define the purpose of the process. And in this case, you are asked to use this tool to to define the purpose of the process of preparing a drink at Starbucks, right? Remember that in the IDEF you have a series of information like inputs, outputs, KPIs that you have to include for each of the processes that you are analyzing. And last but not least, you are asked to do an Ishikawa diagram, or a cause and effect diagram. It is also called a fishbone diagram. So this diagram has the intention to find the root cause of a very specific problem, right? Um, so after using these tools, right, the point or the objective is to use them having in mind that you need to detect areas of development for the process that you are analyzing in Starbucks, right? So let's start talking about a little bit more about value stream systems. Value stream systems are diagrams that show all of the processes within a company, as all of the processes that add value within a company. And adding value means adding value from the perspective of the customer, right? Remember that adding value means if you are doing something and your customer is willing to give you money for that which you are doing, then you are adding value. If you are doing something but your client really doesn't appreciate what you're doing, he's not willing to pay you more for what you're doing. So that doesn't mean that means that maybe it's not a process that tends to add value, right? So value stream systems are not limited to the production process, as I was saying before. For example, processes of research and development, right? Marketing and market research activities for a product also is another value stream. Building and maintaining good relationships with your suppliers and customers, that is another value stream, right? And also quality control activities, which is not the same as expect as inspections, right? But all of this, if you look at them closely, you will find out that value emanates from these processes, right? So I just wanted to point out a difference between quality control and inspection, because anyone who is an industrial engineering will tell me that, well, quality control is not a value added activity because inspections do not add value. But remember that inspections and quality control is not is not the same. Inspections are part of quality control and is a process that typically doesn't add value, right? But quality control is a bit broader, right? Because quality control is a procedure that is intended to ensure that a manufactured product or service adheres to a defined set of quality criteria. For example, the elimination of defects. If you are manufacturing something and you measure it and the piece is larger than it's supposed to be, so this is considered a defect, right? So, inspection is a part of quality assurance, and it is a process oriented and focused on the prevention of defects. So, it's important to point out this little difference, right? So, speaking about value streams, I told you before that value stream systems are not exactly the same as value stream map, right? But they are closely related. Value stream map is when you identify a value stream system, you can then map that specific process, and then you can construct a value stream map from that previous value stream that you were analyzing. And a value stream map will help us to see in which part of the process we're not adding value, right? And in which parts of the process we're doing it, right? So it is very important to know this difference because value streams will help you to identify what are the main processes which you are using to add value. And value stream maps are a tool that will help you see where the inefficiencies are hidden. And this is very important because normally when you want to improve a process, it is very normal for you not to know the process on detail. So value stream maps are a very, very efficient way to start. If you don't know how to find inefficiencies in a process, then start by using this tool. Usually this is the first tool that you will do in any project regarding Lean and Six Sigma. And speaking of value stream maps, this is a lean manufacturing tool. Okay, you will be seeing lean manufacturing tools throughout all of this year, and lean manufacturing is a systematic approach for the elimination of waste within a manufacturing system or within a service system. Lean also takes into account the waste that is created through overload and waste created through unevenness in workloads. We will be talking about this in the future and in the course, but this is a very important source of inefficiencies in a process. Also, lean manufacturing works by detecting the value from the perspective of the customer who consumes the product of or service. It is very, very, very common that when we want to improve a process, we focus on the value but the value for the company, right? And sometimes if you see what is valuable for a company, it is sometimes not also valuable for the customer. So if you focus only on what is valuable for the company, most likely you will end up affecting the quality that the client perceives. So it is very, 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 very important to know that if you're going to talk about value in lean manufacturing, you will have to talk about value from the perspective of our client, right? And value is any action or process that the customer would be willing to pay for, as I said before. And here we have, this is a very well-known drawing. It is called the House of Lean, and it contains some of the most important principles of lean manufacturing for the methodology or philosophy to work in a company. So it would be very good for you to know each of these 10, well, I think it's more than 10, it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's 13 principles, right? And training. So it would be very good for you to know all of this. Then, after the value stream system, we are asked to do an IDEF0. The IDEF0 is a technique that lets us define and communicate the main purpose of a process, what you need for the process to occur, and whether you're doing it correctly or not in the process as you have it right now, right? Without any improvement. Item zero achieves this by defining the inputs, the outputs, and the mechanisms and controls of the process and the KPIs, key process indicators, right? How does this help us to achieve what we said in the previous slide? Well, the main purpose of the process is defined when you transform your inputs into your outputs. It's, it's clear to see what is the purpose of the process by watching these two, what you put in the process at the beginning and what comes out of it, right? Then also it helps you to see what you need for the process to occur, right? And this is the inputs, the controls, and the mechanisms. Because without inputs, you won't have the materials that you need for the process to transform into outputs. Without controls, you would not have a very good sense of what's coming out of the process. Maybe, yeah, if you put in dough and cake comes out of the oven, that's good. The purpose of the process is being fulfilled. But if there are no controls of the process, maybe you won't be able to know if the bread that came out of the oven, maybe it could be burned, it could be undercooked. There's a possibility of things that could happen if you don't control your process, right? And also the mechanisms. For example, which machinery would you need? Which people would you need? Which things are important for you to control? What do you have to measure in the process to know that everything is getting okay, right? And also, IDAF0 will help you to know if what you're doing correctly or incorrectly in a process, um, as you have it right now, right? The Ichikawa diagram, which is the last tool that you're asked to use in this activity, it is also called the cause and effect diagram and helps us to determine the underlying root causes to the problems that we see in a process. This is very helpful for us to establish actions that we will need to do to eliminate the problems. So if you see that you have a problem in a process, but you don't know why it is occurring, a fishbone diagram or an Ishikawa diagram, which is the same, will help you very much to know what are the root causes of the problem that you are seeing. So usually in a process we see symptoms, but we want to get to the root cause to solve it, right? Usually when you do an Ichikawa diagram, you do it by defining the four M's, which are materials, manpower or people, methods, and machinery. But people also like to use or extend the concept of the four M's to a concept of six M's, which also adds mother nature, that means the external environment in which you are working, and measurements. Because remember that sometimes our errors come from our measurements. It's not that we're doing the process incorrectly, but it is that we're measuring things incorrectly. And that might lead us to think that maybe we're doing things wrong. So basically, guys, this is what you're asked to do for this activity. So I hope this is very enlightening for you. And if you still have any more doubts after submitting the activity and watching this video and watching your retro in your activity, please just tell me. You can write me an email. You can tell me on Zoom. You can have a variety of ways in which you can contact me, right? And it's just a matter of us agreeing on some time for us to talk and go deeper into these concepts, right? So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate very much that you take the time to watch this video. And well, I don't have anything else to say to you. Then thank you for your time. Bye bye. Oh, and I almost forgot. This is an example of an Ichikawa diagram, right? And it is using the six M's, right? So just for you to see the example, right? And I think that would be it for today.